This is a video of Dr. Masaru Emoto. So what Dr. Masaru Emoto is a Japanese scientist who did various research on water, very profound research, and which became very popular, also known as the water experiments. So what he did is he exposed same water to different words. Say I hate you, I love you, or say gratitude, or say he exposed the same same thing, same experience he did with say spring water, sometimes with tap water, and multiple researches he did, and he found that they behave differently. So that means our thoughts, our words, our emotions has an impact on the food we eat, and 70% of and an environment around us. So I want you to go through that this video. So this was this research done. So he said when he said thank you, it turned into a very nice crystalline structure. The water turned into. So what he did was he froze the water, and with every these words he froze the water and he put it into a microscope. And when he saw it into the microscope, when the water was exposed to the word thank you, it turned into a beautiful crystalline energy. When the water was exposed to the word you make me sick, it looked like this, very disjointed and scattered. So like that, he did different experiments. So I show this experiment and come back to this.
Dr. Emoto's laboratory does research on water samples which are subjected to various forms of outside influence. The impressions made upon the water are recorded by swiftly freezing it in a cryogenic chamber. This is what water heated in a microwave oven looks like. This is the effect of a mobile telephone. Somebody said, "Thank you" to this water. "Excuse me. You disgust me." Let us see how this type of water affects human blood. The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells, and they've lost their electrical charge, so they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and arthritis and lung disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structurized water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood back to an aerobic environment rather than an anaerobic environment. I think that's utterly amazing that just drinking water could do that.
In 1995, Dr. Emoto Masaru was the first one to record musical impressions on water. In Dr. Emoto Masaru's laboratory, they allowed water to listen to music, after which they flash froze the water. And then, under the microscope, they could clearly see the crystals that the water had formed. Here is what the music of Bach looks like. Mozart. Beethoven. Heavy rock. Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, "Thank you" to one beaker, "You're an idiot," to the second. And the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black. And the rice that was ignored began to rot. Dr. Emoto thinks that this experiment provides an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, and converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm.
Yeah. So we saw that how our thoughts, our words, our emotions has an impact on the water which he did the experiment with. And 70% of our body is water. 70% of our world is water. So 70% of our world is water. 70% of our body is water. So our subjective, our subjective mind, that this experiment proves that a subjective mind has an impact on the objective world. So whatever, how you think and feel has an impact on the world around us. It says that when you change, the Dr. Wayne Dyer says that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So our observation has an impact on what is being observed. By this experiment, somewhere the observer and what is being observed are interconnected. They are not too different. Somewhere we are all connected. So friends, it is very important to understand our science of how our thoughts, emotions, our words are so powerful and has an impact on our life. And so many times we live in a resistant mode, we live in a state of resistance or say fear or anger or any unlimited emotions. And whatever we resist, we persist. And if we expect something negative, your expectancy determines the outcome. So if we are expecting the negative outcome, then we will draw more of that outcome towards you. So like I said, before I expressed that the worry is a prayer for manifesting what you do not want. Because by worrying, you are speculating the worst outcome and you are drawing more that into your life. So friends, let's change our attention to wellness. From illness, let's change our attention to wellness and not to illness. So focus on the right things. Focus on wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. So whatever things you focus on, you draw that reality into your life. So yad bhavam tad bhavti, yatha drishti, tatha srishti. So friends, I also want to now talk about a little bit about the power of speech. As we saw in the experiment, when he exposed him to the words, thank you, how the water or the rice behaved. And when he said, you made a mistake or ignored, then how they behaved. So exactly this is how a power of, even our words we speak is again energy and information. It has its own frequency. And it has an impact on the world around us, on the environment around us. It has an impact on ourselves. So our words, so poor mouth is equal to poor life. What you speak, you manifest. So our words are like seeds. When you speak something out, you give it life. Every word you say is a blueprint that our mind and our body works to make it real. Right? So whether you repeat it, whether you realize it or not, actually you're prophesizing by every word you utter, you're actually prophesizing your future. So with repetition, it actually becomes a reality. So words are windows or they are walls. They can sentence us or they can set us free. So words are energy and they cast spells on us. And that's why it's called spelling. So change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life. So it's very important how you speak about yourself, we are attached to our limited beliefs, our limited emotion, and we keep affirming that. Oh, sorry, I can't do this. I am not this. I cannot do this. I have a poor memory. I'm not a good speaker. Or I used to say that I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker. And for 18 years, I avoided teaching. And finally, I said, no, I am a good speaker. I can speak. Of course, it is taking time and I'm changing, but at least it made my belief system, and that's why I'm able to start teaching them. So it's all about our belief systems. How, what, and the words we utter, by affirming it again and again, we are actually we are making that imprint stronger and stronger. So we really need to change. Uh, we really need to change the way we speak about it. What you're not changing, you're choosing. Whatever you're not changing, actually you're choosing it. So if you're affirming it again and again, you're actually choosing that reality. And if you fight for your limitations, you got to keep it. So it's totally, friends, our choice how we talk about it, and 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 the more we attach, the more we affirm again and again whatever are our limiting limitations, or we will make it stronger and stronger. So that's why very important what you speak. So don't talk about the problem, talk about the promise. A lot of times we are faced with any challenging situation in an environment, and we keep discussing the same problem to 100 people. Everybody keep talking. So change your attention to solution rather than problem. Focus on the solution, not on the problem. Don't talk about the problem, talk about the promise. When you verbalize the thought, you give it a right to actually come to pass. Every sentence is an affirmation to yourself. And that's why affirmations are so powerful. And that's why in meditations, when we go into a deep subconscious mind, we use affirmations, positive affirmations to change your belief systems. Because when your subconscious mind, and this all these belief systems are stored in a subconscious mind. And that's why we use affirmations when you're in an alpha state, theta state, delta state, to use affirmation to change your belief systems so that you no more act out of that limiting beliefs. So be impeccable, friends. So it's very important to be impeccable with your words. So our physical health depends on what goes into your mouth. And the mental and emotional health is actually reflected by what comes out of your mouth. So it's very important to be careful. Be very careful about what you speak. Your labels, the vows are actually self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes in the moment of heat or some argument or some rejection, you take some strong vow with that intense emotion, and that intense emotion turns into a long-term memory. And then we prophesize that future into our life. We cast a spell on ourselves. So labels and vows are all nothing but self-fulfilling prophecy. So always express what we want the other person to do differently in a positive language, rather than saying ki, you are like this, why are you like this, using all the negative term. You say ki, if you do like this, or you have why don't you use some positive language. Oh, I love, if you can do this, I would love this about you. If you can do the same thing in a different way, I would love something about you, rather than saying that, oh, I hate this about you. So change the way, reframe your sentence, the way you express your language. It is scientifically proven that 10%, only 10% of the conflict is due to difference of opinion. 90% is due to the wrong tone of voice, including the war between the nations. In the history, it has been proven that 90% of the war waged during the nations is because of the wrong tone of voice, or somebody said something and it hurt somebody's ego, and it turned into a war, or between two nations, or between two religions or tribes or cultures, or two individuals. So whatever you want, friends, we can rephrase the way we want to say. Say as request. Even to our children, say as request, not as demand. A lot of times, because we have a power over our children or over our servants, we always say as demand. Whoever we have power over us, over the others, we say always as demand, not as request. And the demand response is either submissive or they become rebel. And both are not good. And that's why we wonder why the children have become rebellion. All of a sudden, after 12 years, or the teenage, why have they become rebellion? Because for all these years, when they were unable to express, we were suppressing them. We were always commanding them. We were always putting demand on them and not treating them as equals. So friends, use the positive aspect of each other to tune into who you really are. When you are using the positive aspect, use the positive aspect of others to actually tune into who you really are. Because when you separate yourself from others, you are actually separating yourself from yourself. Because you are disconnected from your own source energy. So when you see separation from others, you are actually separated from yourself. So use the positive energy of others, or the positive aspects of others, to connect to your own source, to connect to your own resource. Whenever your children, catch your children doing, most of the time we catch them doing wrong. Rather catch them doing right rather than doing wrong. Because because the more you induct guilt, shame, the more they'll act from that, and the more they will come from that aspects, and more they'll affirm that aspects. And every guilt, every shame is a fresh blunder. So I'll give you an example of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was expelled from his school because he was not up to the standards with the other students. And the teacher wrote a letter, expulsion letter, to the mother. And the mother, when she read the letter, she said, she told Thomas Edison when he was a child that we'll have to change our school because I've got a letter from the school, from the principal, that you are so good in your studies and you are so intelligent. Your intelligence level is so high that the other children are not able to match up. And that's why we have to change your school. And that's why I'm putting you, that's why, not change your school, that's why I'm doing the homeschooling, and now I will teach you. So the Thomas Edison at that age actually believed what his mother said. And later on, we know that he became the biggest scientist of the human history. He did more than 40 prominent inventions, including inventing electricity. And and when his mother died, when he became a huge inventor and successful inventor, when his mother died, he was going through all the boxes of his mother, and one of the boxes he found this letter, and then he read this letter, what the principal had written to his mother when he was a child. So imagine how much you can change the psychology of a child only by positive affirmations, by the words you give it to them. Because for our children, the parents, the father and the teachers, they are like gods. They really believe whatever we are telling them, and that forms their belief systems. And in later part of their life, they play out that belief system, and they express that belief system in their life.